Namaste, Jai Shri Ram, Bharat Mata Ki Jai. So, brothers and sisters, with sadness, I have to talk about another conversion racket happening in Bharat as we speak. And this one, actually, there are two of them. Okay, two of them happening. One is happening, I think it's in Chhattisgarh, where some nuns, are preying on poor Hindus, mostly tribals, low caste, all of these things, and getting them to convert to Christianity. As I said before to you, the socialists, the liberals, these nuns, these missionaries, these Muslims, they are our enemy. Okay? They are our enemy. And I'm telling you this. It's not these high caste Brahmins and so-called high caste people. Our enemies have distracted us while actively destroying us. Okay? And I have spoken out about this many times, and speaking out about it again. So there's one happening in Chhattisgarh, and there's another happening again in UP, right? This is the next one. I spoke about the last one in UP, where this Baba who's been funded from the Middle East. Now there's one that has direct link to Pakistan, and they're targeting Hindu girls for conversion. Again, this is in the Uttar Pradesh, a BJP-led state in India. And India is BJP-led, So you have Narendra Modi leading India, and you have Yogi Adityanath leading UP. And this thing is happening right under their noses, And I have always said, many times, and time again, I've always said that I admire Narendra Modi. I like him. I think that he's the best prime minister that Bharat has ever had. And I also like Yogi Adityanath. I do. I really do. But they are not what Bharat need. They are not what Hindu rejuvenation needs. They are not what Vedant rejuvenation and reawakening needs. Okay? We need somebody who's going to be uncompromising. Okay? We need a Hindu first, a Dharma first, a Vedanta first policy, with absolutely no room for compromise, zero room for compromise. And do not let non-Sanatani benefit from program that is meant to uplift us. Okay? Programs meant to uplift the marginalized Hindu population, the so-called low caste population, is not reaching them. It's not reaching them. It's going to outsiders who want to destroy Bharat. Okay? And it's going to those who actually and actively oppress us. Okay? The liberals, the socialists, Congress Party, the Samajwadi Party, the Bahujan Samaj Party, the Trinamool Congress Party, the Marxist Party, Maoist Party, Communist Party, none of them are our allies. And sadly, I have to add the BJP in this. We need a new movement in Bharat, one led by us, and one where we will not be on the defensive, because they cannot accuse us. They cannot accuse us of oppressing the oppressed, because we are the oppressed that's going to rise up, and we're going to take control of our narrative. I put out a video on caste, how untouchability emerged in Bharat. Please go watch my video. You will see that untouchability actually had nothing to do with Dharma. And it's something that scholars actively ignore. They actively ignore this because they have bought into a false premise, a false academic theory. It's not even a theory, because really the consensus around that is built on false premises, ignoring facts. Okay, it's ignoring facts, and I have shown you in detail how it emerged in Bharat and Sanatan Dharma. Okay, and just to refresh here, the rise of Sanatan Dharma when it was on the brink of extinction was cooperation between the Brahmins and those at the bottom of the Buddhist hierarchy, those that the Buddhists determine as untouchable or outcasts. That is the fact. Okay? That is the fact. Okay? What is sad about that is people who may have been Kshatriyas or Vaishyas and all of these things would have been thrown into the category of untouchable and outcasts. That is what would have happened. So many of you may actually, many so-called outcasts or untouchables may be actual descendants of Kshatriyas or Vaishyas or Brahmins and not know this. So this is why I'm telling you, do not go with the Western Christian academic consensus, because it's meant to disable, harm, and disunite us. Okay? We don't need that. We need to unite. Okay? And I have also pointed out to you that this age is meant for us to rule. We're supposed to rule this age. It is in the scriptures. Okay? The scriptures have been corrupted by those who want to demean us. Okay? I am not denying the fact that there are Brahmins who are casteist. But such Brahmins are uneducated. And such Brahmins are demonic and are ones that you should oppose and avoid, because they can do and have done more destruction to Dharma, and they are therefore not Brahmin. In fact, they may not be the descendants of Brahmin. They're just the descendants of demons. Okay? So what I'm telling you, again, what I'm telling you is that do not allow ourselves to be disunited. Do not allow them to separate us. We need to come together. We need to come together, okay? And be one. Look what's happening in the UP and in Chhattisgarh. People are actively targeting us for conversion. Okay? We're not being oppressed by Hindus. We're not. The majority of violence and oppression against Dalits comes from non-Hindus. Look it up. Okay? Look it up. And this was an atheist that outlined this. Who was it? Is it Anand Raghunathan? I think he was the one. If it's not him, it may be Jai Sai Deepak, or what's the other guy named Ayamitra or something. You know, but Abhijit Ayamitra. But there was one of them that actually did the study on this and said the majority of discrimination against Dalit people does not come from Hindus. It comes from non-Hindus. Okay? It comes from non-Hindus. And the caste system is kept alive by those who are socialists, communists, Maoists, Marxists, even other Dalits, and the Congress Party and the liberals. They keep it alive because they benefit from it. They benefit from it. But the problem is that we don't benefit. By them keeping that alive, we suffer. And we continue to suffer. And I don't want that. This is why I said we need to unite. And we need to be proud of our Sanatani heritage, of our Dharma heritage, of our Hindu heritage, of our Bharata heritage, of our Indian heritage. Okay? We need to be proud of that. You know? I am proud of my heritage because, and let me tell you, I grew up in a Christian society. I grew up in a house with full of Bibles. And with time, I've come to realize that Dharma actually frees me. Dharma doesn't constrict me. Maybe Hindus might want to, but Dharma does not. And I've realized that Dharma has been corrupted. But one of the best thing about learning about Dharma is that in this age, in the age of Kali Yuga, we are supposed to rule this age. Okay? And I actually pointed out to you guys that when Bharat was at its height, it was led by Sudra or low caste kings, such as Chandragupta Maurya, before him the Nanda Empire, and after him the Vijayanagara Empire. They were all low caste people. And the arts, the sculptures, the metalworks, the metallurgy of Bharat was done by low caste people. Okay? The temples being constructed, these grand buildings, all of these things, you know, these are low caste people. Okay? And I'm using the term low caste here very liberally. But it was done by Shudras. Okay? There's no such thing as untouchable or outcast in Dharma. There really isn't. But Shudra is that evolution of Dharma into skilled workers. Okay? So, and today, if you're an IT worker, you're a skilled worker. You're a mechanic, you're a skilled worker. You're a pilot, or a bus driver, or a taxi driver, you're the equivalent of a Sudra, which is also a Sutta. Okay? So, I also pointed out that our jobs are, those people who don't identify as Shudra are happy to do the work of Shudras. Okay? Basically stealing the jobs of Shudras. Do you know that entertainment, being an entertainer and a singer and an actor is also a Shudra's job? Do you know that? Fashion designers and the fashion factory, Shudra work. All of these things is hidden. You don't hear the liberals, Marxists, Maoists, socialists, all of these people talking about that. You don't hear them talking about that. But I am talking about this because I want to educate you. Because this is our age. Okay? The supreme being, or if you want to address him as Sri Krishna, because I approach the supreme being as Sri Krishna. Okay? Have ordained us to rule this age. This is our age. The fact that we're not ruling this age means that we are not fulfilling our divine duty. So you who think you're oppressed, you need to stop feeling sorry and being a victim and rise up and take your rightful place. Do not let these people come and divide us and then try to deceive us into converting or force us into converting. Okay? Let us get this movement going. I want you to share this video. I want you to like this video and please subscribe to this video. Okay? Let us take control of Bharat. Okay? We're not going to compromise. Once we take control of Bharat, we can uplift the entire community. And we're not going to do it through subsidies and handouts and all of these things. We're going to do it through education, skills training, martial arts training as well. Ensuring that you take an oath to Bharat, to be loyal to the civilization of Bharat first and foremost, not to Dharma, but to Bharat first and foremost. And then we're gonna adopt the American, amendment, not the amendment, but the American right to bear arms. We're gonna do that under the condition that you are loyal only to Bharat. Bharat comes first. Okay? It's time for us to become militant. No one can say that we are not capable of military victory. Okay? If any so-called Kshatriya or martial caste, so-called martial caste, because that was also invented by the British, wants to dispute that, point out to them that Bharat fell when they were supposed to be defending it. Okay? Point out to them that Bharat reached its height under low caste leaders such as Chandragupta Maurya, the Gupta dynasty, the Nanda dynasty, and the Vijayanagara Empire. Point that out to them. Those are historical facts that cannot be undone. Okay? I'm telling you, once we take our rightful place in Bharat and Sanatan Dharma, we will not be stopped. We will not be stopped, and Bharat will rise again. Okay? Do not be ashamed to be a proud member of Sanatan Dharma. It is the best philosophy there is. It is the best way of life. In another video, I told you I approached God as Sri Krishna. In another video, I'm going to do something that no one from another faith will do. You will see. Watch my other video, and the reason I'm going to do that is to show you a profound and extreme example of the difference between the followers of Sanatan Dharma and those of the Abrahamic faith. And those who are intelligent will see why what I do is a very good example of why Sanatan Dharma is the superior philosophy. And remember, we're a living philosophy. We're not a fossil. The others are fossils because they're waiting on someone who's not going to come. Okay? We continue to evolve. We don't need for God to come. We can take destiny in our own hands. We don't have to wait for God. If we're waiting for God to come, that means we're not doing our job. That means we are ignoring our duty. And that means we are now committing sins because we have neglected our duty. And Bharat as a whole have neglected her duty. And it's time for us to show Bharat, to show the followers of Sanatan Dharma why the divine has ordained us as the rulers of this age. Okay? With that, I take your leave. Namaste, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Krishna, Bharat Mata Ki Jai.